Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I'm going to do part 2 of this video because I feel like it needs to be done. A ton of people saw my last video chimed in where I discussed as a strength coach, as someone who's very familiar and intimately familiar with powerlifting, someone with decades of experience under a heavy barbell. I explained what happened with Justyn, Vicky. Even Chris Jones came in, thanked me, said, good video, I'm right, he supported my stance. And he's an OG in the industry too. So he's been around a real long time. And the problem I'm seeing is that people are blaming anyone but Justyn, Vicky, and they're blaming this spotter. And I've seen people say, oh, it's all the spotter's fault. Or maybe they just run 2 spotters, he would have been fine. Well, no, he wouldn't necessarily been fine. Okay, he wouldn't have been fine just because he ran 2 spotters. He would probably still be alive. But here's the thing, the way that he was running it with a single spotter and running no safety arms, had that spotter managed to salvage it, he would have risked injuring himself on top of it, okay? Now, if the spotter had sense, he would have told Justyn, hey, I'm not comfortable doing this, is not a good idea. I don't know anything about the guy, his training history, anything else. He obviously didn't know how to spot. But to blame him when Justyn, Vicky made the conscious choice, he made the conscious choice to say, I'm going to do a max squat outside of the rack with no safety arms, okay? Especially with knee wraps. That was a bad decision. And it's completely ego-based. It's completely because he, I guess, wanted to look cool on camera. Because I've looked at his footage, I looked at his Instagram. He had access to safety arms. He used them pretty often. They were there. He chose to go for a PR that if you calculated his maxes, he probably couldn't get with no safety arms, using knee wraps, okay? And when people say, well, spotters could sit with knee wraps, I don't think that's wise. No, even 2 spotters, 3 spotters. And here's your problem. Knee wraps, when things go bad with knee wraps, it's one reason I'm not a fan of them. And I tell guys, tread lightly. If you're going to compete in a knee wraps division in powerlifting, your risks are going to go up exponentially. They're going to go up dramatically, way much higher risk of injury with knee wraps. Okay, that's where people tear stuff because you're lifting 40, 50, and then in some cases 100 pounds more than you can lift completely raw with bare knees. And it's wrapped tight around the joint. This is where you see quads pop off the bone. This is where you see adductors pop off the bone. When that goes badly, you go straight down. It's not, hey, the spotters help you. You drop to the floor and the bar just drops when something rips with knee wraps. Okay, that's what happens. And your spotters have to be able to just catch the bar because it's just going to drop. And it's going to drop fast. They have to catch it. So if you're going to use spotters and not safety arms and you're going to do knee wraps, you're not only putting yourself at risk, you're putting your spotters at risk because they get hurt when things go badly. It's a reason at powerlifting meets they still have safeties and you'll see 5 guys spotting. It's a reason you see that. All right. But people who are blaming the spotter as if it's all his fault. Well, should the spotter have told him, hey, I don't think this is a good idea? Yes. But I promise you that spotter is beating himself up of wondering, could he have done something different? I'm sure he feels pretty terrible about the situation. And for people to stand there and blame the guy instead of saying, hey, maybe Justyn didn't really know what he was doing. Because you see that with influencers. I see so many influencers who, they might have a nice physique, but they clearly lack the experience. They clearly lack the knowledge. They don't understand safety. They don't really understand appropriate training, fatigue management, injury risk. They really don't. And I see it every single day online. I see it every single day. Over here is, what did I say in the last one? And Chris even agreed with me. You want to stop this from happening again? You need to create a culture of people calling out dipshit influencers who are training without safety arms, okay? Not that hard to set them up. Put them on your bench, put them on your squat rack. Any lift to where you can't just turn loose of the bar and let it drop to the floor, right? You can do this on deadlifts and rows and things, that's fine. Cleans, whatever. Those are fine. bench press, incline, squats. Unless it's a front squat, you can drop that to the floor. People need to be using safety arms or safety straps. Okay, that's it, or safety chains. That's it. There is no excuse for it. Because people get hurt warming up, all right, things happen. I've seen people pull muscles on squats, deadlifts, or whatever on a warm-up set. I've seen it happen. And when that happens, things go bad. When you're squatting and you pull something, just like on any other exercise, you tend to just drop. Okay, you can't really recover. You don't know when it's going to happen, and it's a case of, well, I don't put the arms up until after I'm what? No. You need to do it on your first warm-up set. Use the safety arms, people. Put them there. They're there for a reason. Every gym has them. All right, we have to promote that to prevent problems like this from happening. It's not difficult. They're in almost every single gym around the world, and we all have them in our home gyms. And if you don't, then maybe you shouldn't be doing, heavy squats or whatever. At least bench pressing, if you're smart and you know how to bench correctly, you can bail. You can drop it in. Because you're not touching high on the chest. It's on your belly. You can do belly bounce and get it to your waist and stand up and set it on the floor. I can do that with 300 plus pounds anytime I want. But I still use pin and pipe safeties so that I don't have to. Okay? But here's the thing. People have to quit blaming this spotter. Justyn put this spotter in that situation. It was reckless. Like this was an injury for someone anyway it breaks down. Could it have been less severe? Might he still be alive? Yes. The way that it went down, even if the spotter had helped him differently or spotted correctly, it's a failed exceeding 1 rep max with knee wraps on the squat. And I promise you, it's more weight than that spotter could probably overhead press or whatever, or even Zercher squat. It's an awkward load in front of you. So even Eddie hugged him correctly and done all that stuff. It was high risk. Somebody was getting hurt. Justyn created that situation by being unsafe, being unwise, being, just not thinking things through. And I'm not trying to speak poorly of the dead because it's a tragedy, but we need to use this as a learning experience. Those of us as a lifting community need to look at this, use it as a learning experience to say, hey, this is easily preventable. Let's not be dumbasses. Let's be safe. Put safety first so that we can all keep lifting heavy and people don't have to get hurt. Safety first. That's it. The spotter was put in that situation, right? He's partially to blame, but Justyn is the one to blame, all right? Unsafe practices, that's what's to blame, period. We have to do better. We have to do better as lifters and as a community, and it's that simple.